This is Pat Matthews of Pat Matthews Productions, and I want to welcome you to Beatles-A-Rama TV. Your favorite interviews and videos all in one place, right here on Beatles-A-Rama TV, our YouTube channel.
If your heart skips a beat at the sound of "Hey Jude, you're gonna love this," meet Mark Lapidos, the visionary who turned a dream into reality with the Fest for Beatles Fans. What started in 1974 with John Lennon's blessing has grown into a global phenomenon, bringing Beatles enthusiasts together for over 50 years. This year, join us at the Hyatt Regency Jersey City from March 28th, 30 for the 51st Annual Fest. Imagine 3 days filled with live music, special guests, fan activities, and so much more. Whether you're a lifelong fan or new to the magic of the Beatles, there's something for everyone. From tribute bands to Beatles yoga, and from a bustling marketplace to engaging talks and workshops, you won't want to miss it. So mark your calendars and get ready to celebrate the enduring legacy of the Beatles in style. Welcome to the Beatles Feast 2025, where every day is a magical mystery tour.
The magical mystery tour is coming to take you away. Step right this way.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky.
Hey, Beatle people, it's Pat Matthews back
Imagine
again with
all-
another great interview today, and it is with Mr. Mark Lapidos, who is he's Mr. Fest for Beatles Fans. That's all I could say. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Pat. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I know that it's been it's going to be 51 years this time, or
Yeah, this was we just passed our 50th anniversary fest
right.
in the year 2024. Remember that year?
Yes, I remember that year. I'm trying to forget it. Hey,
Trying to
you
forget
know,
it. Right.
just out of mind. But anyway, you always have it in New York at the end of March, right? Pretty
Well,
much.
it's usually March. Yeah, end of March has been more common the last 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Done
So
it
let's
another-
talk. Yeah, let's talk about the history of it because I think it's very cool. I know John Lennon fits in there somewhere. So why don't you tell
quite a bit.
tell the viewers about the
Where
history.
where should I
of the set.
start? How much time do we have?
No, just take your time.
Take my time. Well,
Take whatever you need.
I first started the idea at the end of 1973, Thanksgiving weekend, over a dish of vanilla ice cream. I was just eating it and up on the Upper East Side, and said, somebody should do something to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Beatles' arrival in America. And the word Beatle Fest just magically popped into my head. And I sat with the idea for a while, and after the holiday season, I said, why not? So I plucked my own money down as a deposit to the old Commodore Hotel
Right.
on 42nd Street in New York City, which is now the Grand Hyatt, which we did a show there in later on for the 50th, 40th anniversary show. And I sat with the idea, and after I put the deposit down, I sent all the Beatles letters for permission because I didn't want to do a show without their support. I just didn't think it was right. So I wrote them all letters. I included a cassette letter for each one in case they didn't have time to read it. They can listen to it in their car or something if they
Right.
have a cassette player.
Good idea.
I heard nothing back, and then in the which I didn't know how this would happen, but I hear an announcement. Cousin Brucey on Friday night, April 26th, says that the first March of Dimes we held an event in Central Park on Sunday the 28th, and the Fifth Dimension will be the headliners. Just added that Cousin Brucey is going to be talking with John Lennon and Harry Nilsson.
Hmm.
And I said, I'm going to meet John on Sunday. They just said it. I'm going to meet him. And everyone thought I was nuts. You're going to meet, there's going to be 100,000 people there, and you're going to meet John Lennon. Yeah. How are you going to do it? the details. I'm going to meet John Lennon on Sunday. I was absolutely convinced. I don't know how I could tell people more clearly 50 years later, but I was convinced in my mind that it was going to happen.
Right.
I was a manager at Sam Goody's. For all you younger people listening, there used to be record stores. You can go into the store and buy records.
Sam Goody's was a good one too.
So it was it was their flagship store. It was a Radio City store right across the street from the entrance to Radio City. And it just so happened that Capitol Records we had a promotion for all Capitol Records and Beatles records. They took turns. The next week might be Columbia or Decca, whatever record company had specials. So I had found out, being a fan, that Capitol made 10th anniversary Beatles shirts. And so I called Capitol. I wanted my staff to wear them the whole week. I called Capitol, which was only 2 blocks away. I was up there tons of times, and they never heard of it. We know nothing about it. So I called the Tower in Hollywood, and I told them where I was and said, sure, we have the shirts. So could you send me 30 shirts? I had a lot of staff. So they sent the shirts to me, and I kept them under lock and key, and only I had the shirts, and I gave them out to all my staff to wear during the whole week. It was a blue shirt, said 10 on it. And I have it at home, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to wear it this past year to the 50th anniversary. I just could not find it. But I
thought you were going to wear it for this show.
I couldn't. If I had it, I would wear it for the show. But I think I know where it is. But I've searched a lot of places. But I will find it because I'm positive it's there. How do I get?
Didn't get them all out, right?
So they sent me these shirts, and I wore my shirt the whole week, and they wore their shirts. And come Sunday morning, and this is April, end of April, it happened to be predicted for a nice warm day, like near 80 degrees. It actually got to 82. So I wore my shirt. And there's 100,000 people already gathered in Central Park. It was a free event. And where John and Harry was, like a little stage set on this, I don't know where it was. We revisited last year, but trees grow in 50 years, so it was impossible to pick out the exact spot, but there was a big open area where this Fifth Dimension obviously played. So where was I? So I'm there, and all these people are there waiting for John and Harry to come on the stage, and I spot a guy wearing the same shirt I'm wearing, and I don't know who he is. So I start stepping over lots of people. Excuse me, we're going, because every inch is taken not to see the Fifth Dimension. John, of course. So I walk up to him, standing face to face and wearing the same shirt. I said, hi, where'd you get that shirt? Well, last night I was driving my pickup truck in Times Square, and I saw these 2 guys sitting at the curb at 42nd Street and Times Square, and they looked a little, maybe a little too much
inebriated.
Yeah. So he obviously recognized who it was right away. He stopped his pickup truck, and he said, "John, you need need a ride somewhere? Would you mind taking us back to our hotel?" So he said, "Sure." So I took him back to the hotel. He parked right in front of the building. John invited him upstairs to his suite, and they talked like 15 minutes and signed an autograph and gave him a shirt. And he was on his way.
Wow.
I said, really? Oh, what hotel was it at? And he said, the Pierre Hotel, which was really right across the street from the entrance, 4 blocks from where we were standing. Oh, really? And what's his room number? And I said, 1019. 100,000 people. He's the only person who had that information. And because of the shirt that he was wearing that I was wearing.
That's how you got it.
So I watched John and Harry talk, of course, and for that whole time. And then they talked for like 20 minutes. They posed for photos, and I know people have photographs of it, but I didn't think of bringing a camera because that's what guys did in 1974. There's no cell phones, folks, for you young people out there. We didn't have those.
That's right. You didn't have your brownie fiesta.
Right.
Yeah.
So they left, and I walked over to the Pierre Hotel, and again, I did it last year as a 50th anniversary. My wife and daughter, they videotaped it as I was talking and describing what happened. And the way I remembered it is exactly how it looked. And I was very surprised. I wasn't surprised, but after 50 years, stories can get turned around. So what all the things I'm going to mention was actually confirmed by me this past year. I never doubted it, but there it was. So
Sure.
walk into the hotel. I sat down on a little bench right across from the elevator, taking a few deep breaths, trying to get my composure. And I get up and I push the button. By the way, that bench is still there 50 years later. Push 10, floor number 10 and open the door. The door opens and straight in front of me is 1019. So I walk over and I ring the doorbell and Harry Nielsen opens the door. Now, Harry became a dear friend of ours.
That was cool
later.
enough. Right.
Right. And he attended 25 fests over the years. But I never met him before, and we all knew who he was. So I said, "Hi, I'm Mark Lapidos, and I want to speak to John about Beatles Fest." So he said, "Come on in." Just like that. Come on, that's Harry. So I'm sitting down waiting, and a few minutes later, John comes out of the bedroom into the parlor, shake his hand, and I had met him numerous times before, but he wouldn't have remembered me, of course. Working at Sam Goody, there was a lot of parties for Apple recording artists. So John would show up and, "Hi, John, how are you?" Nothing intrusive. So I shook his hand and I sat down and told him my whole idea. That would be a convention. People would come from all over the place, be music and discussions and video and trading and all that kind of stuff. And he said, "I'm all for it. I'm a Beatles fan too. Come back on Tuesday and we'll get it all set up for you." And we sat there and we asked some questions, Beatles questions, and then went on my merry way.
And originally you called it the Beatles Fest, but then somewhere along the line they made you change it,
Uh,
right?
they had their reasons for it.
Right.
It was amicable. It was fine, but just that I guess
Yeah.
lawyers. It's a lawyer thing.
Right.
I'm not at liberty to discuss it.
Okay, but I mean, I think everybody knew that.
Oh, everybody, yeah, we changed from Beatle Fest to, people at the show. There's always people calling it Beatle Fest, but we don't, right? It's the fest for
The
Beatles.
usually just the fest.
The fest, right? My
Right.
email's Mark at the fest. So
Right.
it's the fest.
But you had John Lennon sanctioned it for you at that time, right?
Oh yeah, and I told him I'm going to have a charity raffle. He said, "Well, we'll get you some stuff for it." So he had a guitar that he signed.
Wow.
But Tony King was his representative. I'm sure you know the name, Tony King.
Yeah, I heard the name, yes.
But he worked for he was John's assistant and worked for Apple. He came over from England in early August, a month before the fest, and called me and said, "I'm staying at I think it was at the Pierre Hotel also.
Mm-hmm.
Could you come over?" He knew where I worked at Sam Goody. It was just like 10 blocks away or so. So I said, "Sure." So he wanted to, go over details. What's going on? Just fill me in. So I knock on the door and open the door. And sitting on the couch with piles of cassettes was a person who had the #1 album in the country at the time and the #1 single at the time. It was the #1 artist at the time. 1974, Summer Guys. Who was it?
1974.
From the UK,
Elton John?
Elton John.
Yeah.
Is sitting there. I had an hour and a half conversation with Elton John.
Wow.
He was the #1. I mean, we first started talking about Caribou, the album.
Mm-hmm.
Said, "Is You're So Static going to be the next single?" He said, "That's the one I wanted, but the station in Cleveland or somewhere started playing Bitches Back, and that's the one they had to release." So
Right.
he didn't get the choice.
And then half the radio stations in America wouldn't play it because of bitch.
Well, they probably, who knows? But they probably
Listen, I worked for one of them, so there you go. I know.
Well, some people break grounds. But anyway, we had a nice talk, and he said, "Do you sell cassette players?"
Mm-hmm.
at the I'm digressing from the story, but this is, I think, very important to me. And at Sam Goody, he said, I said, yes, sure we do. We sell everything. So the next day, I happened to already had an appointment at the Sam Goody warehouse in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
I was in there at the store. In walks Elton John with Tony King, and he walks up to the other manager and says, "Is Mark Lapidos here?" He spent an hour and a half shopping. He was helping customers. It was amazing, and I missed the whole thing. And
Wow.
but
Now, listen, I hate to bring up competition, but I knew a story back when I lived in Southern California that Tower Records used to open the store at 6 o'clock in the morning for Elton John would come in and buy like, 50 albums at one time. But well, there were no other customers in the
the one
store.
on Hollywood Boulevard, the main one, the first one.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I've been in
Hollywood.
that store tons of times. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did 25
Did
fests out.
Sam Goody do anything like that for him then in New
Um,
York?
no, they didn't know he was coming in.
Oh, okay.
He just came in and bought tons of stuff, and he bought a CD player. I mean, not a cassette player, and he just had a
Of
good
course
time
he
in
did.
the store. But
Yeah.
so
So,
getting back to the fest,
right.
Beatle Fest as it was in '74. So I told Tony, he said, "Did you get autographs from everybody?" I said, "Well, I got Ringo's autographed drumsticks immediately because the guy helping he got me the drumsticks signed right away." So I said, "Did you get any?" And John already committed to signing a guitar. I have a guitar in my attic. It's what he told me that I'll sign for you. And I said, "Did you hear anything from Paul and George?" And nothing. So he went back and told John, and John called up Paul and said, "We got this Beatle Fest coming up. How come you haven't sent anything?" He says, "I didn't know anything about it."
Hmm.
So John had a Spanish guitar that they bought when they were together, when they went to Spain. It was
Mm-hmm.
62 or something. I forget
Yeah.
what year it was. They went to Spain, France and Spain on their own, and I can sign that one. And he called George and asked the same question. Said, "I didn't know anything about it." So their people is too many layers to get to them.
Right.
But John called him himself. John called Paul and John called George. This
Right.
is the year, remember that '74, they're suing each other, right? The lawsuit was resolved, the end of the last day of the year almost. It's
Right.
late December of
Yeah.
'74. So he calls, so personally, the business part of it was really separate. So he called George, and John had the tabla that George used in Sergeant Pepper, Within You, Without You. And he signed that one too. This is Joy. I certified this is
Wow.
Jones. So on the day of the show, I'm a nervous wreck. I really am. I mean, we had a 2-line story in the Daily News about 3 weeks before, and on the Tuesday, I go into my mailbox to look for my 10 or 20 or 30 letters, and the guy hands me a sack of mail. I said, "Where are you doing this at Madison Square Garden?" I said,
Wow.
"Oh my God." So it really started to happen then. And so on the day of the show, I'm really a nervous wreck because there's no format. There's no example that I could follow. It's
Just a gathering.
well, I mean, I had a schedule. I printed the
Yeah.
program book. It was like this, but it was one page. We folded over one piece of paper. It was printed a few hours before the show started. And so Tony King was there, and he brings me the guitar that John signed. Brings me the guitar that John signed for Paul, and the tablet that John signed for
George, huh? Yeah.
George. And then he shows me 6 of the book called The Penguin, John Lennon. It was a combination of his first 2 books, and it was put out, I guess, in the '70s.
Mm-hmm.
All signed for the auction. I guess it'd be an auction and a raffle. And then he takes out a 7th one and says, "This is for you, John. John wanted you to have this." And I open it up and says, "To Mark with love, September Beatle Fest, 1974, John Lennon." He drew it.
Wow.
That's my most prized possession. I brought it to the 40th anniversary fest in 2014. So I wanted to walk around
You didn't
with
let
it.
anybody touch it, though, did you?
No, I'd let them look at it, but no one could touch it. And at that moment, all of a sudden I started feeling like something came over me. I just started feeling a little more relaxed and like, oh, wait, the most important thing, he said, and John would like to come down tomorrow night to pick the winner of his guitar.
Oh, gee.
This is what he tells me, and I got to keep it a
Man, you
secret.
must have thought you were dreaming at this point, right?
I woke up. No, it was from being frightened to being holy, you know what? This is happening. So it just so happened that an old friend of mine from a childhood was a policeman and had that beat. And he came over, he heard that the show was going on, and heard my name. So he came to say hello to me. I said, I have to tell you something in confidence. We got to figure out a way to get John onto the balcony, like through the kitchen, and nobody can know about it. So we went through the kitchen and figured out a way to do it. And it couldn't be seen. We had a microphone on the balcony, but it was below the ledge. So you couldn't see it.
Sure.
And it was all set. And meanwhile, Jim Kerr, who was our MC the first year, kept putting up rumors there and saying, someone's saying John's in the lobby somewhere. And people are screaming and they're looking around for him. But I can tell you, Bob Gruen was there. I didn't know him then.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me maybe 15 years ago. I said, Bob, you never told me this. He said, I went and made a phone call downstairs. So I told the story on the stage at the fest, one of the fests. And I said, you know, when you say about phone, there's no phone, cell phones. You have to go to the phone booth
One with a
take out
cord.
a dime and put the dime in and dial the number.
Right.
And John, this is absolutely amazing. You got to come down here. This was on Saturday. He was being interviewed by Lisa Robinson for not Crawdaddy, the other one of the magazines.
Right. Okay.
There was I
Cream.
have it in my drawer right here.
Is it Cream?
There was a third one.
Oh.
Maybe it was Cream. But anyway, Lisa Robinson, who became a lot of people know who she was after a while, after that story. So she said, you know, a few blocks from here, there's a Beatles convention going on. She said, I know all about it. What do you think of it? And here's the exact quote that John said, never explained. Ready? It sort of smacks of Rudolph Valentino. That's what John said, quoted. It's forever in the magazine. And so we were getting ready to have him come on Sunday night. And Tony tells me on Sunday, he decided to go up to the mountains, up to the upstate New York, because they're
Poconos. No, is that no?
No, I think upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I'm not angry at him for doing that. But I did have it 2 months later. Did have a chance to speak to him personally and thank him for all the help and told him all about the show. He had known about it and he said I'm glad it went well. And
Yeah.
he continued to donate items for charity every year through March of 1980. Didn't miss one.
Very nice.
And
What a great story.
yeah, and it was just
Yeah.
it was magic, you know.
Yeah.
And
it
the
helped.
first story. Wait, I'll get something out. Hold on one second.
All right.
I asked my daughter, she
Video.
videotaped it. I asked her to put it together, and she never did. I asked her again 2 days ago because yesterday, for me, was the first day I heard I Want to Hold Your Hand, January 6th.
Right.
It was on with the Scott Muni show on WABC. You guys know who Scott Muni was, right?
I do. Yeah.
So
I have a story really quick. The first time I heard I Want to Hold Your Hand was in 1960. That was 64 you're talking about, right?
yeah, January 64.
Okay. I heard it in December, late December of 63. I went to a girls' party when I was in the, I don't know, sixth grade or whatever. And she had it and she played it like 30 times in a row.
Wow. Was she the one who introduced it on the show in the Washington D.C. station?
No. I forgot her name was Carol something.
Yeah.
So I forgot, she was the third Carol. We have the Carol Brown, we have Carol Lapidus, and I forgot. She was
Carol
from Maryland
somebody else.
too. She was from Maryland. There was some radio station in Baltimore, I think.
Right.
But anyway, no, it was, I think she had gotten it from a friend of hers in the UK.
Yeah, well, that's how you
Yeah.
had to do it. That's
Yeah,
how the
so
girl who announced it on the radio, her
right.
friend got it. And I think her friend was a stewardess.
Yes.
So anyway, back to 1974, um, a month after the show, this appears on every newsstand in the United States.
Nice.
Rumblings in Pepperland.
I made the cover of Rolling Stone. I could not believe it.
Where's your
Joel
Nice.
name?
Siegel, Joel Siegel did the interview and wrote
Uh-huh.
the story. And they printed the entire Beatles trivia contest that we had, 40 questions. It was like a 4-page story.
Wow.
But imagine how shocked I was.
That's
Making
amazing.
the cover story. I said, well, that'll never happen again.
And then you said, I'm going to open up a Beatles store and I'm going to sell those lunch boxes too, you know?
Yeah, no, I never thought of that. No, it was just a one convention idea. But then I got so many letters and calls, and we got to do it again. You got to do it again. And then we had Sid Bernstein as a special guest, and also Murray the K was there
Right?
as an honorary DJ. But Jim Kerber from PLJ, who's now on
You forgot your
Q4.
Murray Decay hat there, Pat.
Yeah, I know. I got my Murray the K hat, but it's in the other room. So I didn't wear it to this show. It was like,
No, huh?
so anyway, so
No.
when did you decide to, I mean, you continued even
So
though
yeah,
you
so
didn't think
okay.
you were going to, but
Yeah, let me go back to that story. So um, after a few months, from all this people asking me if I'm going to do it again, I decided why not. So I did it the exact same weekend, same hotel in 75, and it was a big success. Another big success. And
when did you open up the store, and have the catalog and stuff like that?
oh, the catalog, 84. Well, the Beatles didn't start doing licensing till 83.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I was there ground floor. I was there at a second meeting that they had, and it was Harry Nielsen who gave him the idea. It said he told Derek Taylor, to
Right.
"You guys, all this stuff is out there, not licensed. You got to get yourself licensed and put stuff out." So they did.
Yeah.
It's been over 40 years of doing it. So it was just a few items here and there, literally, until like the end of the 80s, and that's when the first catalog back. I have all.
So you obviously know Terry Crane, right?
Yeah, sure.
The author. He's going to be at your show this time?
Yeah, no, he's been there a number of times. He's a good guy. I like
Yeah,
him.
yeah. He was one of our first guests on our show. So
Oh.
he's a co-sponsor of the radio station.
Mhm.
But no, he's a great guy. I
Yeah,
couldn't
we
believe he
have
was
sometimes we have
60-something years
20.
old. Man.
Sometimes we get 20 authors at the show.
Oh yeah.
A
Jude
lot.
will be there. Bruce Spicer will be there. Listen,
Piers Hemmingson from Canada, and Ken Womack, of course, who wrote that
Sure.
great book. A lot
Dr.
of
Ken. Yeah, yeah.
We had Mal Evans. And Mal Evans, his only public appearance in his whole life was at the second Beatle Fest in
Oh
70.
wow.
And he paid me the greatest compliment I ever had. At the end, he was a star. He was signing autographs all weekend long. And my brother was sitting at the table with him, helping. And he told great stories. There's one story I remember. We played Magic Mystery Tour. Apple had sent films for the shows, and we showed Magic Mystery Tour, which most people hadn't seen. And I mean, the only time I ever remember being anywhere near me was at Hofstra, which
Right.
Philadelphia, and it was only 10 minutes away. But I had some sort of midterm or something, and I just couldn't make it. So they only showed it once. So I'm watching the movie with Mal in the balcony, and he's telling me stories about what's going on while I'm watching the movie. So it's only the second time I'm seeing it because I saw it in 74, and now I'm watching again in 75. And he told me at least 3, maybe 4 good stories, and there's one I remember clearly. The others, they're going with time. Paul wanted to go to France to shoot The Fool on the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this in the Alps.
Right.
So, okay, let's go. So he and Mal went off. I'm assuming they had a cameraman. That's all, unless they had a cameraman arranged to meet them somewhere.
Right.
He explained his, Paul and I went to go to England. We went down to the channel. They were going to take the ferry.
Mm-hmm.
They said, where's your paperwork? So he said, Mal said to me, he pointed,
You pointed to
Paul
Paul.
standing right next to him.
Right.
Oh, okay, just go right on. And passports, nothing. Money, nothing. Neither of them had a penny on them. Neither had any ID on them. But there's Paul with him. They could do anything they want. So they went to the Alps, did this show, and that I thought that was an amazing story.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
they had to do it on
good.
both ends, right?
Yeah, I know the first time I was exposed to Mal was in Help when he came out of the, up from that hole in the ground.
The ice, yeah.
Yeah, in the ice. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the compliment he gave me, I'll never forget it. He said after the weekend was over, he said, Mark, this was the greatest weekend of my life.
Wow.
And I'm saying to myself, I would trade 100 of my weekend just for one Saturday or something of his in the early 60s.
Yeah.
51st Annual Fest is happening the end of March in the Hyatt Regency, Jersey City. It's March 28th through 30th. You can go to thefest.com online. You can call us at 1-866-THE-FEST.
Right.
And we have a lot of good guests. We have Jim McCarty from the Yardbirds. Now, he's significant because he was a founder, and he happened to be playing guitar with these three fairly unknown guitarists. I don't know if your listeners probably never heard of these guys. Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, and Jeff Beck.
That's right. And then
I want to hear all the stories about those guys. They're just alone.
He went on to found one of my favorite bands of all time, Renaissance, too. So.
Oh, really? I just saw them. I saw their last year performance. I was 2 years in New York.
Yeah, he was
City.
the original guy, but I think along with his sister was in the band.
No,
too.
the woman, the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Renaissance.
Saw it at right off Times Square in November 2 years ago.
Huh. Didn't know they were still.
They were retiring, but I'm not sure she did. Anyway, I had seen them before. I had seen Renaissance a couple of times in the city.
Give us a rundown real quick of some of the acts besides Jim McCarty.
Okay, we have a non-musical act, Eddie Deason. Everybody remembers I Want to Hold Your Hand, that great Beatles movie.
Yeah.
And he was a crazy kid, and we met up with him and we invited him and he accepted our offer. He's a sweetheart. He's a hardcore Beatles fan. The first year, it was filmed in LA in 76, so most of the stars of the movie came to the first Beatle Fest in LA in 76. And that was Steven Spielberg's first movie. He went on to do some other things. You probably never heard of the guy, but
Who, Eddie Deason?
no, Steven Spielberg's first movie
you're talking
was
about
I Want to Hold Your Hand.
The viewers, yeah.
So I mean,
Or did we not know that that was his first directorship? But
right, but he went on to do pretty good things, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Neil Innes was one of our all-time favorite guests, founder of the Ruddles, and he passed away about 5 years ago. And he went to many fests and did things with George, very close personal friends with George, particularly.
Right.
And his wife Yvonne has written a book about him because he couldn't do it. And Drip My Brain in Joy is the name of the book. Dip My Brain in Joy. And he was an amazing person. And Yvonne's going to come over and talk about him. And we'll do some Ruddles songs, of course. We actually had a Ruddles reunion at the fest in the late 90s. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So without Eric, but we got the other ones, and that was before. That's the only place they did it, really.
Yeah.
Colin Hanton, one of the original Quarrymen, will be there.
Right.
And then Colin Hall, who was there, was a longtime friend of Colin Hanton's, and he was the curator, the curator of the of Mendip's, John's home. He actually lived in the home of his wife, and his wife also did the same thing at Paul's house.
That was Aunt Mimi's house, right?
Aunt Mimi's house.
Yeah, right.
And then his wife did the same thing doing the tours, which we did a year and a half ago. We went and did the tour.
Right.
And Skylar was with us. And But it was
Skylar's going to be a Beatle
the,
fanatic.
the magic of the very quick thing. The magic for me in John's house where he grew up was that little hall, little front entrance to the house where they said they wrote the songs together. So I asked the person, I guess this could have been Common Hall. I asked, I don't know. I said, how did they fit the chairs in there to play with each other? He says, no, they just stood. Paul's a lefty, John's a righty. So when they stood,
Sure.
they're both facing each other and their arms in the same place. And that's where they created the music, right there. So I had my daughter Tilly take a picture of me. You know, no cameras allowed inside the house, but they were outside the house and got permission. They took a picture of me doing this.
But this was in the days. This was in the days when they did have a phone with a camera on it, right?
But this is a year and a half ago. Everybody.
Yeah.
I think my grandson doesn't have a phone yet, but he knows how to use them. Knows how to use the computer. So the show, you can call 1-866 the Fest. We have other guests also. We have maybe 20 guest authors, including all the ones we've mentioned. We have live music by Liverpool. They've been with us since 1979. They're the best. They back up all our musicians. Gary Burr from Ringo and the Roundheads will be there. So he'll be doing. He's a terrific guy, and there's a new book out. We have Paul Saltzman, who met the Beatles in India and took all those great photos. Gary Astridge is Ringo's current drum curator.
Right.
In fact, we're going to see him next week. We're going to see Ringo next week at the Ryman Auditorium.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Ringo has a new album out, folks, coming out this Friday.
Country, yeah.
Look up. It's a country album produced by the famous T-Bone Burnett.
Right.
And he's doing 2 shows next Tuesday and Wednesday nights. We already have tickets for both nights. And we've never been to Nashville. So we're heading off there in a couple of days.
It sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
And it should be a good time. And Jay Bergen, who was John's lawyer when he was trying to, he was suing to have to stop to get the record out that mobster guy tried to put out.
Right.
And
that Adam, what was it called? Adam 12 or something like that?
Right, Adam 6, right?
Adam 6.
Right. So he got it stopped. And he puts the whole transcript of whatever John said during the court. John was actually very aware, very interested and involved in the court
He
here.
was a witness, yeah.
He was there every single day, and he got up to testify, and he mentioned the Beatles Fest. It's in the book. Jay told me
You can't pay for that kind of advertising, you know what I mean?
no, but it's in there somewhere. It's a good book, and he'll be there. He's a terrific guy, and a lot of other bands. We have the Weaklings are there every year with us now. They're a local band. They're terrific. And Tom Frangione from the Beatle Channel and Ken Dashow from Q104, our MCs, co-MCs. And we just have a blast. Vendors from all over the country are there. If you've never,
Well, it's on my bucket list to be the host, but we'll talk about that later.
if you have to wait in line. But we take over an entire hotel. All
Right.
14 ballrooms, and there's exhibits. Neil Glazer works for Ringo directly. All his artwork is there, and Eric Cash is an artist. He has a whole room, and there's an art museum, video room, discussion rooms, trivia, name that tune.
And you get your passes on the fest.com too, right?
Yeah, you go fest.com or call us either way. And we have fans coming from like 35 different states. The hotel's sold out in 12 hours.
Very nice.
last September.
Very good.
But we do have an overflow hotel right around the corner from us, and the information's on the line. You can get it there.
Mark, this has been a whole lot of fun, man. I just noticed on my phone that I had messaged you 3 years ago to be a guest on my show, but I guess something was going on. Maybe it was right after your grandson was born or something.
Could be. Oh, we also do a show every year. This is the 49th year coming up in Chicago at the Hyatt.
Oh yeah. That
The
was
weekend of August 8th and 10th, through 8th through 10th this summer.
Okay, and the one that's coming up,
Details.
the New York Metro, is 28th through 30th of March, right?
Yes, so those are 2 shows. We're doing those 2 shows every year, and I think we're up to number 137 fests.
Wow.
We did 25 in LA, and we did Houston and Dallas and Boston.
Warren, he's a very rich man.
Hmm?
I told Warren you were a very rich man. Oh, I
Oh.
just,
Rich in my heart.
that's right.
I do this out of love.
Rich and, yeah, I know you do. I'm just making a joke when you said it was over 130 shows. I was like,
well, over 50 years.
yeah, right. That's not too bad.
And
Listen,
Las
man,
Vegas too. Yeah.
thank you for coming on. And I would, you know, if I was still living in Southern California, I'd be hitting you up for coming back to LA again.
Oh, I know people keep asking, where do you live now? Where are you?
I live in Louisiana, a place called Covington, Louisiana. We have a house in the woods.
The house in the woods.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and
All
you
right.
have a big thing behind you. This is the thing you set up in the woods, that big picture behind you
That's right.
to run.
Oh, yeah.
And it's sitting in your backyard in a big 8x10 because you have all this space. You must
Oh,
have
we got
100 acres, right?
9 no, just 9 acres. But
That's nice.
yeah, it's not bad.
Louisiana. All right.
Thank you.
I think I was there once.
You have to come visit. It's like you step back into the 1800s.
Great. All right. Well,
All right. Publicity.
thank you.
By the way, right after this, don't go away. There's more fun and games with the board. We're gonna be out of here, what, 3:30? Scott, since you're the timekeeper? Okay, so we got time to do this and the finals. Okay, who do I have in the number 1 slot? Well, buzz in, please. You have to buzz and talk into the mic. Tell us your name.
My name is Sharon,
Sharon, where are you from?
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Wow, in just for the fest?
Yes?
Fantastic. First time?
No,
All right, so veteran festa.
not really.
How many?
We've been to Chicago and we went to the 50th in New
Cool.
York.
All right, so it's good to have you back. Thank you, Sharon. Number 2, buzz in. Tell us your name.
My name's Marvin.
Marvin, where are you from?
Currently live in Melbourne, Florida. I'm originally from Toledo, Ohio, and North Carolina.
All right. Marvin, welcome back to the fest. Number 3, buzz in, please. Tell us your name.
I'm Gabriella.
What a lovely name. Gabriella, where are you from?
I'm from northern Westchester, New York, so an hour away from here.
Okay, so that's not a terrible ride. You drive here? Or did you
No.
take the big plane in?
Drove here with my parents.
Okay, good. Well, good to have you with us, Gabriella. Who's your favorite Beatle?
Paul, I would
Beatle Paul, okay. All right, so I have Sharon, Marvin, Gabriella, and number 4.
My name is Joe,
Joe, where are you from?
Cobleskill, New York.
Cobleskill, New York. I know where that is. Very cool.
I know you're the only one that knows where it is then.
I was upset. I was there once. I lost the bet. So anyway, Sharon, Marvin, Gabriella, and Joe, right? That's who I've got. All right, good luck to you all. We ended off, we were in the middle of Anthology Land, so guess what? I think we'll stay in Anthology Land. There, I gave a clue, okay? Track number 19. Marvin?
Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter. That is right. It is the bluesy version of Helter Skelter. Very good, Marvin. Okay, now we'll get out of Anthology Land. What do you say? Let's go to track 20. Marvin?
Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't Buy Me Love is exactly right. That's another 5 points for Marvin. Let's go to track number 21. Oh, wait, we got to reset the board there. Reset the board there. Okay, we got to put that back. Now the board's set. Now, you know what? Let's skip that one because we mucked up the board. Let's jump up to track number 22. Marvin?
Some Other Guy.
Some Other Guy is exactly right from Live at the BBC. Track number 23. Marvin?
Dig a Pony.
Dig a Pony, very good. And track number 24. Marvin?
It's All Too Much.
It's All Too Much. Wow, that was Marvin made short work of that. All right. So those are the 4 qualifiers.
That's what I'm gonna lose.
That too. Okay, we have time to do the finals. Hold on there, Cecily. All right. So you guys know how this is done. You know the competition. Look, Eleanor is like ready to break out there. Look at this. Okay, so good luck to you all. You're playing for some big prizes here. And we left off with It's All Too Much. So we need to go up to track number 25. Marvin?
We Can Work It Out.
We Can Work It Out is exactly right. 5 points for Marvin. We might have time to play the 10. What do you think? Yeah, do it? All right. 50 points wins the round. Okay? Got to get 10 of them right. Okay? That was We Can Work It Out. Track 26. Okay, that's Jonathan.
Cayenne.
No, not correct. Try it as we said before, and it looks like it is Kevin.
Cry for a Shadow.
Cry for a Shadow is correct. Very good. The Beatles back there in Hamburg during the Tony Sheridan sessions. All right, now, this next clue, I need you to name 2 Beatles songs. You'll know what I'm talking about when you hear it. I need the names of 2 Beatles songs for this next answer, okay? Track 27. Marvin?
Drive My Car and Taxman.
Drive My Car and Taxman from the Love soundtrack. That's exactly right. Okay. Back to normal land. I only need 1 correct answer on this one. There's only 1 Beatles song title you need to give me for track number 28. Marvin?
She's a Woman, live at the Hollywood Bowl.
She's a Woman, live at the Hollywood Bowl is exactly correct. We good? Okay. Track 29. Marvin?
Roll Over Beethoven.
From where?
Live at the BBC.
Nah, Starr Club, close enough. But it's Roll Over Beethoven. You didn't have to give us that part. So, but anyway, that's where it was from. Okay. Track number, and by the way, we're going to 50, so you're not quite knocking on the door of greatness here yet, all right? Track number 30. It's about 7 weeks. Marvin?
Christmas Time Is Here Again.
Christmas Time Is Here Again is exactly right. Okay. That's the end of that disc, Vinny. We need to move over to disc number 4. You know what? You want to make this challenging? Should we make this challenging? Yeah. All right. Give me a minute here. All right. I'm going to send Marvin out for coffee. Hang on. Just give me a second here. See what you really know. Not even Marvin. Lend me your ears. Okay, what we're going to do now, since those little clips of beginnings of Beatles songs are apparently too easy for the best and brightest here, what we're going to do is play classic. Where's Caitlin? Larkin, where are you? Did she leave already? Damn. Okay, these are straight from Caitlin's Cover Corner. These are going to be cover versions of Beatles songs, and only because Marvin is halfway there. What we are going to do is play you these. They'll be a little bit more than a second or two, for sure. You need to identify the song and the artist. Yeah. That better be for them and not me. Okay. All right. No, these are, by the way, these are very well-known covers. These are classic covers, okay? Say again? Girl power. Oh, wow. Girl power. We got the whole thing going here. All right. So we are going to play songs that are covers of Beatles songs. You need to tell me the name of the song and the artist, okay? And the year and the publishing company. Artist and title will do, okay? So we are on disc 24. Vinny has it queued up. Let's hear track number 1. Okay, there, Jonathan.
We Can Work It Out, Stevie Wonder.
We Can Work It Out by Oh, yeah. How we doing down there, Marvin? All right. Oh, wait, no, don't do that. No, we got to redo the thing. Just hit it again. Go ahead. We'll put you back at 25. Okay. All right, there you go. All right. Let's go to track number 2. Marvin?
I want to be your man, the Rolling Stones.
That's exactly right. Marvin got that one. The Rolling Stones really want to be your man. Okay. Track 3. Go ahead. Tell us.
Something
by
Ray Charles.
Not Something by Ray Charles. Clearly it's Something. Who's it by? You guys want to hear it again? All right, the other 3 get a chance first, Marvin. Okay, board is reset. Let's play that clue again, number 3.
Something by Frank Sinatra.
Not Something by Frank Sinatra. One more time for Jonathan and Kevin. Kevin?
Something by Ray Charles?
No, we went through that already. Jonathan?
Oh, this is easy.
It's gonna pass.
Oh, this is easy.
Who else out here?
Elvis Presley.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, they got it. They all chanted it. It was Something by Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley.
Live.
You guys heard of him? All right, hold on. We've apparently caused chaos up here at the board for this.
Okay.
Okay, now is he good at 30 or 35? 30. The whole crowd.
Yeah, wasn't that something?
We have prize for everyone. No, we don't. We don't. All right, now, just because we've now neutralized the board here and stumped the band, what we're going to play now is a cover version of a Beatles song. Same rule. I need the artist and the title. But we're going to mix it up a little bit. This one was never released. It's off a bootleg. Oh. What do you think, Sussman? You ready? All right. Track number 4. Okay, Eleanor.
Is it Tell Me Why by Bruce Springsteen?
It is. Very, very good. Does my heart good when that happens. It really does. Right? Because the idea here is not to stump the band. The idea is to give away some prizes, right? And get the crowd going like that and get you engaged and get you behind your friends and fellow Beatles fans. Okay, same thing, guys. Cover version, need the Beatles song title and the artist. Okay, track number 5. Marvin?
If I Needed Someone, the Hollies.
It is If I Needed Someone by the Hollies. That's exactly correct. I want you to skip up to track 21, if you wouldn't mind. Marvin, feel it?
Whenever
Feel it?
All I've Got to Do
By. You see, you gotta wait till you know it. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, let's reset and go to Kevin.
All I've Got to Do by the Smithereens.
That's right. Back to his way. The Smithereens. Pat was a guest here at the fest many times. And let me tell you, I miss that guy every day. He was a Beatles fan like no other Beatles fan. He was truly, truly a wonderful, wonderful friend and Beatles fan. Okay, now remember, you buzz in when you know them. Okay? That's the idea here. Vinny, you're going to backtrack things and go to track number 10. Marvin?
Oh, wait. You've Got to Hide Your Love Away by Elvis Costello.
Exactly correct. You Got to Hide Your Love Away by Elvis Costello. That's 40. Let's go back to track 8, if you could, Vin. Marvin?
I should have known better, the Beach Boys.
That's right, the Beach Boys, I should have known better. Okay, Marvin's knocking on the door of greatness here. All right, let's go to track number... Oh, we should just do this one just because we can. Let's go to track number 15. 7 for the game.
Get Back, Billy Preston.
Get Back by Billy Preston. This was great. We're going to do it again tomorrow, name that tune, but don't forget 5:30 and here's trivia. But
Always wanted to program a radio station. Well, Beatles-A-Rama has a way to fulfill your dream. All you have to do is donate $25 to our GoFundMe project to keep us on the internet. And you can give us your 15 favorite Beatles songs and we'll fill an hour with your choices. When you go to GoFundMe.com and donate your $25, make a note that you would like to pick your favorites and be sure to give us your email address. We're working out the details as to what day we'll be playing your picks, but if you get in early, we'll make it work for you. Remember, it has to be in our vast library of music. Thank you, and let's have some fun while you support Beatles-A-Rama.